Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so anything that I use you can purchase from Stampin' Up! Through me at the address at the top of the screen, and it's all also linked below. My measurements will be also on my blog, which is linked below also, okay? This is my host code for July. If you spend less than $150, please put that in for me. I can send everyone a little gift. All right, so my project today is a 3x3 by 1 inch box that has this belly band on it, and you open it up, and inside I only have 2 truffles, but you could put 3. If you really wanted to squeeze, you could probably put 4 in there. Alrighty, and I used the Decorated with Happiness stamp set, which is really adorable. I really love this. And what's left, I have some out here of the decorated pine dies. All right, and it has the ornaments cut out as I did it, like that, and it also has it so that you can cut it out with pieces, which is very nice. Alrighty, I also used the Host Celebrate Everything Host Designer Series paper, which is you can use as your Stampin' rewards if you spend over $150. Alrighty, but there's lots of we have other red patterns if you don't want to do that. Okay, and that just slides on there just like that. I just love this. It's just so festive and cute. Alrighty, so what we need for this project is a big piece of basic white for stamping. We need a piece of garden green that is 11 by 5 and another piece that is 1 1/4 by 9 1/2. Okay, we need 4 pieces of the Celebrate Everything DSP that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and we're going to use 3 of them like this and 1 of them like this. Alrighty, and then we need 4 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 3/4 for all the sides. From the Stylish Shapes dies, we need a 1 1/2 inch square out of basic white for the sentiment, and a 2 1/2 inch circle. We cut 1 out of the Celebrate Everything DSP and 1 out of vellum, because I wanted kind of a pattern, but I wanted it to be soft, so I just put the vellum on top of the DSP, and it doesn't make it too busy in the front. All right, so let's get started with my piece of garden green cardstock that is 11 by 5. And we're going to start on the 11 inch side, and we're going to score at 3, 4, 7, and 8. Then we're going to turn it to the 5 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 and at 4. Okay. And then I'm going to fold and burnish. Okay, and they're symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which side you're looking at it. And this is what we're going to do. All right. Okay, so we're actually going to start with it in portrait mode like that, okay? We're going to go to the first score line, and we're going to cut it straight to the second score line. We're going to get rid of this piece on the bottom and wedge the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it straight to the second score line. Get rid of this rectangle on the bottom, and then wedge the square. Okay, now we can turn it either way, but I'm going to turn it so that this piece is to the right. Go to the first score line, starting on the left, sorry, go to the first score line, skip and cut up to the first score line on there. Okay, so we have our square, and we're just going to wedge both sides. Okay, I'm going to turn it 180 so that our flap is out to the left. Go to the second score line, cut it up to the first score line, next score line, and cut it up to the first, and wedge the squares. And that is what your cardstock should look like after you've done scoring it and cutting it. Okay, so now we're going to put tear and tape on the tabs that are in the middle, not the ones next to the flap. All right, and I'm going to put one close to the score line and one close to the edge. And I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tools to get the backing off easily. And we're going to attach these tabs to this side, the side that's longer. All right, and we're going to take the score line and make it even with the side of the rectangle. Okay, and this is what you have left over here. That's what it looks like. All right, and then I'm going to take liquid glue. I don't want to get too close to the score line, but I'm going to put some liquid glue all around. I'm just going to lift it up and just kind of make sure that everything is nicely aligned with the other rectangle that's underneath it. And that's your basic box. Oops, this one's coming up. Okay, and there is your basic box. Okay, so now we need our DSP. And they are, the three large ones here are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we're going to put one here, and one inside the flap, and one on the back. Okay, and this extra one we're going to flip over and put right there with the other side. Okay, and I'm going to attach them with liquid glue. Okay, and then on all the sides, I'm going to put the pieces that are 2 3/4 by 3/4. Okay. All right, so now we're going to let this dry and we're going to do some stamping. All right, so we need our piece of basic white. And I'm using 4 stamp pads, Real Red, Daffodil Delight, Garden Green, and Granny Apple Green. And you need a piece of scrap paper to stamp off. All right, so we're going to start with the Garden Green. And I'm going to be using this image right here. Okay, and see, this one is photopolymer, but it does wonderfully. All right, and then I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green to do the inside of it, but I'm going to stamp it off once so it's not too dark. And that is this image right here. So I'm going to stamp it off once. Yeah, I'm not getting it already. Okay, stamp it off once, and then just center it over your previously stamped. Okay. All right, so that's our bow. All right, and now we're going to do 2 ornaments. We're going to go with this ornament along with this piece, and this ornament along with this piece. All right, so first let's do the red one. So I'm going to use Real Red, and I'm going to stamp it And then I'm going to get the inside. And I'm going to stamp it in the real red, and I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it inside the ornament. Okay, I probably could have gone a little lower, but that's okay. It gets caught, it gets cut out, it looks great. All right, now we need Daffodil Delight. And we're going to do the long ornament. Okay, so I'm going to do the outline in Daffodil Delight, full strength. And then the inside with stamped off. Perfect. Okay. And now we just need to stamp the inside, which I don't remember. I think I did it in real red. Yes, I did. Okay. All right, so let's get our little 1.5 inch rectangle, square, sorry. I don't want to get that dirty in case. And we're going to use the real red again. And I'm just going to slightly put it off to the right. Not all the way, but just slightly, leave a little more room on the left-hand side. Okay. And that's it for the stamping part. Alrighty, so now I have my dies, and I'm going to use some low-tack tape. And you see how I went off a little bit? Once we cut it off, you won't even see it. It's very forgiving. And how I line this up is I try to line up the tops of the boughs the best I can. And then you look in here and just, well, this one doesn't have a dot. I'll show you on this one here. You don't need that. Oh, I wanted to show you how the this one I did in Tahitian Tide. I didn't use that one. It's very cute, right? All right, so it's just where I want it, and I'm just going to tape it down. Okay, now for these, I'm just going to put it where I want. See, I don't know, I just must have touched that before, but it's going to go away. So I'm going to put it where I think it goes, and then just make sure through this little hole, you can't really see it, but I'll show you on the other die here. There's a tiny hole at the top there. Just make sure that the red is showing through that on this. This one, it will be the yellow. And then you know that you got the top of it nicely. And then I'm just going to line it up. And then move this till I see yellow. There we go. Oops, I moved it. There we go. Okay. I'm going to cut these out, and I will be right back. Alright, now I'm just going to gently lift them off. And you see how nicely this one came out. Love it. That one. There you go. And this one here. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Okay, now we need our circles. And what I'm going to do, I have it so that the lines are like dashes. They go horizontally. I'm just going to, no, I'm not going to use that first. I'm going to put this here. And then I need my, there we go. And I'm going to decide that I want this right about here. We're going to have a bunch of this one hanging off, but that's okay. Kind of, let me see. How did I do it? Yeah, that's just about, well, let me come down just a little bit. It's just right like that, okay? And then I took a pencil and I just traced right here and right here gently, so that when I got my glue, I knew where to place it. Okay, and when I put it down, I'm gonna put it, where's the other marks? There they are, okay. Right where my marks are. Oops, I got a little bit on there. Don't want that there. Okay. Just give it a minute to dry. Okay, and then I just flipped it over and trimmed off this part that I didn't want. Okay, it might be in a slightly different position than this one, but that's okay. All right, then I think I didn't pop it up, but I think I'm going to pop it up. I'm not going to pop up the top, but I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of the actual ornament right there. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down from the top. Gonna have him hang right about there, and then the top will go down, but then this bottom one will be popped up a little bit. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can't really tell. All right, and now I can attach the vellum to my DSP circle, which I forgot to say again, it was 2.5 inches, both from the Stylish Shapes dies. So is this square. All right, and now just put glue to attach the vellum to that. We don't want anything showing, so I'm just going to put bits of glue wherever there is an image attached already. And I want my lines to go horizontally. So just going to put it right on top, just like that. Okay, that's the done one. All right, so now we want to put our boughs of holly right in the middle. For the inside flap. And then we're just going to glue down this ornament right there. Oops, sorry. Just going to put a decent amount of glue there, and then just kind of pull it up so that I don't really have to squeeze again, so that it won't be too much. And there we go. Okay. All right, now we would put our 3 or 4 truffles in. I think 3 is the most comfortable, or whatever treat you like. Okay, and I'm going to take my strip of garden green that is 1 1/4 by 9 1/2. I'm going to start right here on the top, on the front, in the middle, and I'm just going to gently crease it around the box. Just like that. And take it off, and then just straighten the edges. You don't have to use your bone folder. I did that one. Here's this one. Because we want it to have a little bit of give, because we didn't do exact measurements. Okay. And I'm going to put it on. And then right on the end, I put a little mark with my pencil. You don't have to do this, but you don't want it too tight. Just remember to keep it off a little bit. I put a little mark up my pencil where I don't want to go over with adhesive. And for this, I'm going to use Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm just going to put 3 strips right underneath where I put my mark. Because this will hold it nice and we don't have to wait for it to dry. Okay. Oh, well, let's leave it on there for a second. All right, and now I'm going to get, I have what's left of my faux linen ribbon. I want to get the, what is it called? Real Red and Garden Green Ribbon Combo Pack. But I didn't put my order in yet because there's something I want that's not available right now. I want this stamp set, Trees for Sale. It's coming in on July 25th. So I'm just waiting for my order before I put this in because I don't want to do an order just for this. Alrighty. So that's why I don't have the correct ribbon. This one's not available, but it's pretty close. All right, so I'm just going to, I want it this way, wind it around, give yourself enough room, and I'm going to tie a bow right at the top right here. All right, but just make sure that it's nice, it hasn't twisted. All right, and then I'm just going to tie a nice bow. And then this bow, they can just slide off. They don't have to unwrap it or anything like that. And redo it. Make it tight. I'm just going to clip it. Okay. All right, and then this is going to go on just like this. But what I'm going to do, it covers almost the entire thing because we pull it down a little bit for the bow. So what I'm going to do is take my dimensionals just so that the bow stays nice and secure. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. You could probably get away with 3, but I'm going to put 4. Then I'm just going to make sure that my ornament stays straight. Pull this up a little bit for now. I'm just going to press this right on there. Okay, and then you don't have to do, and sorry, I'm too low. You don't have to do anything with the bow. You don't have to untie it or anything to open it. All right. Now we just have the final touches, which are the funnest. Okay, I'm going to use Real Red Rhinestone Basic Jewels and Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. Okay, I'm going to put 1 Real Red rhinestone in the middle of the flower on the ornament. And then I'm going to take some of the iridescent ones and I'm going to put a small one right up here, a large one over there, and the medium up there. So that they're the little white Christmas lights. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, my email is below. The list of supplies is below also, and the list to join. Now, during celebration, which is till the end of August, you get your normal $125 worth of product for $99. You pick it out, and then you're going to get a beautiful planner from Stampin' Up, which is a $50 value. So that's the bonus this time for joining. If you'd like to join my team, I'd love to have you. All right, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.